Yeah. Welcome to Word on the Street.
Welcome to Word on the Street, where we bring you hot topics. Today, we're going to get into the history of the so-called Jewish man, how he links to the Khazarian Empire, and this is so complex, man. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books on this topic because, and they're written by Jewish people, the so-called Jewish people. We have a book called the Khazari. We have a book called The People and the Books, Medieval Political Philosophies, all right, between Hebrew and Abrahamic poetry, and etc. Look, the Disputation and Dialogue, the Masonic Ideas of Judaism. Now, these books entail the history of the people who claim to be Jews. Alright, so I want to show you this video, and I'll be right back with some commentary.
Jewish thinker in the 12th century. The story described in the Kuzari is essentially the story of the Khazar conversion as this great poet and philosopher developed into a massive book. The story goes like this. Basically, there is this King Bulan who somewhere around the year 740 is a very spiritual individual and concerned with the practice of paganism among his people, and looking at the growth of monotheistic movements, particularly Christianity and Islam. And both Christianity and Islam are making geographic headway in Central Asia and approaching his borders. And he thinks to himself, oh, so what should I be doing? Should I be remaining a pagan? Should I join one of these other faiths, and so on? And so he has a debate where he brings together a Jew, a Muslim, and a Christian. I know it sounds like an offensive joke, but it's not. And he has them have a trilateral debate over which religion is superior. In the end, as you might expect, given the fact that this is Rabbi Yehuda Halevi writing it, King Bulan decides to accept Judaism, and all of his court and the Kuzari, the Khazarian people, ultimately follow him. That's it.
And check it out. So, like he mentioned, the guy's name was King Bulan. The dynasty is named after Bulan. He was the Khazar king who led the conversion of the Khazars to Judaism. His name means elk in Old Turkish. Alright, the date of his reign is unknown, but a lot of people say 740. Alright. And the date of the conversion is highly disputed, though it is certain that Bulan reigned sometime between the mid-8th and 9th century. Alright, so let's continue. Who may not been his founder. So they say they're not sure if he's founder, and we're gonna also get into this. In other sources, see the Schefter, I don't know if I said that right, letters, was discovered in Cairo, Geniza, by Solomon Schefter, whatever. So they named the letter after him. The founder of the dynasty of Saberio. Alright, let's continue. Whether the Bulanite ruler were Belk or Kangans is the matter of some debate. Several kings, such as Bulan, now these is the genealogy of Bulan, and you notice they all have Hebrew names. Alright, so Obadiah, Benjamin, Aaron, and Joseph. Alright, which we're going to get into Joseph because he have a letter that he written. Alright, It describes the leading armies passing legislation treating with foreign dignitaries and exercising other powers normally associated with the Beck. However, the Schefter letters refers to the Kongians and to further muddle issues. No co-ruler is ascribed to any of the rulers of the late 9th century or early 10th century. Some scholars, alright, so we're going to start right there, we're going to go down to here. Alright, so right now we're going to get into this letter here. Alright, it says, the King Joseph account. The Khazar King Joseph gave the following account of the genealogy of the Bulanites. Since the time of conversion to the Judaism, so they converted to Judaism when my father entered into this religion. So this is his, like, let's find out who it. Alright, so Bulan's son is Obadiah, his grandson is Benjamin, his great-grandson is Aaron II, and his great-great-grandson is Joseph, the king. So we're going to go back down, and this is his account. Since the time of conversion to Judaism, when my father entered into this religion, the God of Israel has humbled all their enemies, subjecting every folk and tongue around about them, whether Christian, Muslim, or pagan. No one has been able to stand before them this day. About 960, all of them are tributaries, but only about 10 years. So he's saying the Christians, the Muslim, the pagans are, all of them are tributaries, but only about 10 years later Joseph was defeated by the Russians. 969. After the days of Bulan, there arose one of his descendants, a King Obadiah by name. That's alright. Obadiah is the name of the Khazar ruler of the late 8th or early 9th century. He is described as coming from among the sons of the sons of Bulan, Salakia. But whether this should be taken literally to mean that he was Bulan's grandson, or figuratively to imply a more remote descent, is unclear. See, they line, it's not unclear. Then it said he was by name, who reorganized the kingdom and established a Jewish religion properly and correctly. So he established the Jewish religion properly and correctly. He built synagogues and yevits, which is like big synagogue buildings. Alright. Brought in the Jewish scholars. Want to show an idea. So this is what they built: the largest yeshiva or yeshiva in the world. That's what they built. King Bulan and his people. Alright, let's go back to, alright. Brought in Jewish scholars and rewarded them with gold and silver. Alright. The Jewish scholars could could have come from Baghdad or Constantinople. So we're gonna see Constantinople is in the Byzantine Empire. Look, Constantinople was the capital of the Roman Empire, and later Eastern Roman Empire, the Latin Empire, this the days, and the Ottoman Empire, this the days. All right, so from this is when during our slavery time, the Ottoman Empire. Following the Turkish War independence, the Turkish capital then moved to Ankara, officially renamed Istanbul in 1930. All right, so Esau always renaming things to throw people off. All right, so let's continue. All right, so the Jewish scholars could have come from Baghdad, Constantinople. They explained to him the Bible. So they had explained to him the Bible, the Mishnah. All right, so this is how they got the Mishnah. You know, the Jewish people love to mention the Mishnah. So the Mishnah or Mishnah is the first major written collection of Jewish oral traditions, which is known as the Oral Torah. It is also the first work of rabbinic literature. The Mishnah was acted by Judah HaNasi, probably in Beit Shirim or Shepharis at the beginning of. All right, so the Mishnah, the Talmud, all right, and the order of divine services. The king was a man who revered and loved the Torah. He was one of the true servants of Yahweh. So that's what they say, of God. May the divine spirits give him rest. So they are converts. He was succeeded by Hezekiah. So let's get into who he was. Hezekiah was hypothetically ruler of the Khazars, probably in the mid-9th century. All right. He was born of Obadiah, which we just read, the descendant of Bulan, who brought rabbinical scholars and built yashivats, if I said that wrong, yashivats in Khazaria. Nothing is known about Hezekiah's reign and the historical authenticity and accuracy. All right. So his next son was Manasseh, Manasseh his son, and then next to him was Hananaka, if I said that wrong, Salakia, the brother of Obadiah. The next, Isaac, his son. Afterwards, then Zebulon. So they use a number of Hebrew names. And then his son Moses. In some editions, Manasseh the second. Then his son Nisi, a Jewish Turkic ruler of Khazar mentioned in the Khazar correspondence. So these people, man, and we're gonna get into all that. Let's go to that right now. All right, so the Shefter letters. Let's see what that is. All right, the Shefter letter has been interpreted as a commute from the unnamed Khazar author to an identified Jewish Shaprot. All Alright, and this is him, born about 915 at Jalan in Spain, died about 970, and was a Jewish scholar, physician, diplomat, and patron of science. Alright, and check this out. The letter included in the Genzar collection. Alright, the Genzar is a storage area in a Jewish synagogue or cemetery designated for the temporary storage of the worn out Hebrew language books and paper on religious topics prior to the cemetery burial. Wow. Donated by Schaffner to Cambridge University. All right, we all know Cambridge in 1898. Sadly, most of the folio is unreadable, and only 2 surviving blocks texts exist. This makes identifying the precise nature of the letter commute or legend unclear. The conversion text. The Schaffner letter contains the account of the Khazar conversion that differs from the Khazar correspondence. And alright, look, and the Khazar correspondent and the Khazari. And let's go right here. I'm gonna show you the Khazari. Right here, the Khazari. This is for education purposes only. So you go to Internet Archive, and then some books you have to borrow. But this is the Khazari that's mentioned. And we have access to all these books. We just have to know how to research as a people. And then you could go dig up all the dirt on these people. Let's go to the table of contents. Look. Part 1. The Christians' faith, the view of Islam, the basis of Judaism, the God of Abraham, the prophets, chronological transitions. You know, I haven't read this book. I'm just showing you how we do it. Alright, so let's go. I made a video about it, but this is very interesting. Look, Bulan was a Khazarian king who led the conversion of the Khazars to Judaism. So they kind of contradict themselves, because they say they don't know if he led the conversion in once, and right here they say he did. So he did. He that's when they converted, 740. But this was his reign, so it don't have to be in 740. It could have been within this time period, 740 to 786. So before him, let's see who it was. Alright, Hazar Tarkham was a general, both in military rank, in some cases a personal name, who led Khazar army of 40,000 men in a failed defense of Atil. Okay, let's see what that is. Atil was the capital of the Khazar Khanate from the middle of the 8th century until the end of the 10th century, known to have been situated on the Silk Road in the vicinity of the Caspian Sea. Its precise location has long been unknown. In 2008, a site at Samoteka, a village in the Volga Delta. See? Man, you can be digging up all kind of information. The greatest thing that I learned to do was how to research. And this is not something I've been doing my whole life, but I love it. All right. He was ambushed and killed. The lieutenant of Marwan Ibn Muhammad later, look, they got even accounts. Matia Muhammad, commonly known as the Mahdi II, was the 14th and last caliph. So a caliph is a Muslim ruler of the Umayyad Caliphites, ruling from 744 until his death. His reign was dominated by a civil war, and he was the last unmade ruler to rule the United Caliph before. Wow. Following his death, the Khazar sued for peace. Let's go. Check this out. The renowned scholar D.M. Dunlap was certain that Bulan was Kagan. However, more recent books, such as The Jews of Khazaria by business studies students, and amateur researcher Kevin Brook assumed that he was Bek due to reference to him leading military campaigns. Khazar tradition held that before his own conversation, Bulan was religiously unaffiliated, and his quest to discover which of the three Abrahamic religions would shape his own religious belief, he invited representatives from each of to explain their fundamental tenet. In the end, he chose Judaism. That was a horrible thing when he did that. The Khazar correspondence, which is important. If you have a chance, check that out, man. A lot of information here. This is the full letter of Joseph. Look, King Joseph replied, "Alright, I wish to inform you that your beautiful phrased letter was given us by Isaac, son of Eliezer, a Jew in the land of Germany. Isaac carried it through Germany, Hungary, and Kievan Rus to Khazaria. You made us happy, and we are delighted with your understanding and wisdom. Let us therefore renew the diplomatic relation that once obtained between our father, and let us transmit this heritage to our children." Joseph believed the Khazars had once a diplomatic relation with the Spanish Arabs. Alright, you asked us also in your epistle, in your letter, of what people, of what family, and of what tribe are you. Know that we are the descendants of Japhet, though his sons Togarmah in Jewish literature, Gomer is the father of the Turks. I have found in genealogical books of my ancestors that Gomer had 10 sons. These are their names. The eldest was Unjur, and the second Taurus, and the third Avar. If I say these names wrong, forgive me. The fourth Uzaz, the fifth Bizal, the sixth Tarnar, the seventh Kozar, the eighth Junur, the ninth Bolgor, the 10th Sawir. These are the mythical founders of the tribes that once lived in the neighborhood of the Black and Caspian Sea. I am a descendant of Khazar, the seventh son. I have a record that although our fathers were few in numbers, the Holy One, blessed be He. This is a common name for God. Gave them strength, power, might, so that they were able to carry on war after war with many nations who were more powerful and numerous than they. By the help of God, they drove them out and took possession of their country. Now this is what he's saying. He drove people out and took possession of their country. Upon some of them, they have opposed forced labor, even so they oppose slavery even to this day. The land along the Volga, in which I live, was found occupied by the Bulgarians. Our ancestors, the Khazars, came and fought with them, and although these Bulgarians were numerous as the sands of the shore and sea, a reference to the book of Joshua, they could not withstand the Khazars, so they left the country and fled while the Khazars pursued them as far as Danyabar. Danyabar is a river that was once a long-standing frontier of the Roman Empire. This is my other YouTube channel.
Now that we have discussed the persistent question of the origin of Ashkenazi Jewry in the previous video, let's go straight to Khazari.
Let me show you my channel. This is my backup channel, so if you're interested in subscribing, Hebrew Israelite Book Club. I have 2 people, so help me out. But with that in mind, thanks for watching Word on the Screen. While we bring you hot topics, please tune in again. I have something good over here: the antiquities of the Jews, the 13th tribe. So I'm building. I like to bring out books, and books take time, and a lot of people not interested in books. But with that in mind, thank you for watching Word on the Screen, where we bring you hot topics, and peace.
Yeah, welcome to Word on the Street. Struggle, hard times in our community. Yeah, Word on the Street. Word on the Street. Yeah, Word on the Street.